Welcome to another video. I got asked this question, and yes, this seat is still broken, guys. I need to weld it. It's that cheap eBay China knockoff seat. It's like $88. You get what you pay for. I highly recommend buying a quality gaming chair like in my other office. And this office is a mess. You don't have to tell me in the comment section. I need to straighten up. We got a lot going on right now. It's the holidays, you know, and stuff with the shop and stuff up here and with the body shop, and it's a lot of, yeah, I need to stop making more update videos. But I got asked this question about the sending unit set up in the LS and the C30, but the same for C10. I'm gonna go in detail this video how I did that, so let's just jump into it. This is the fuel pump we assembled in previous videos. If you ain't never seen the assembly process of this, we took a newer model pump and the factory sender. It's in the description below. Check in videos out. Tons more details with part numbers of everything you going. That video of me putting it together, I ain't gonna put it in the description, but I do got a C30. It's Scrub Body's playlist. You can check it out. That video will be in here with more on how to do this fuel pump setup. But I'm going to do a quick explanation. What you do is buy the fuel pump for 87 C30, C10. You know, at 87 is throttle body. So you got a fuel system sending unit that's always set up for a fuel pump. Now the factory fuel pump from 1987 is not enough PSI, not enough pressure to run the LS series engine that you're going to be putting into your truck. Just not going to happen. But what you can do is buy just the pump. It's what I always use. You watch these videos of mine, they be plenty of part numbers to it, but the pump is like $38. You buy just the pump. It's from like a newer Chevy. It goes right in, plugs in, works perfect with this sending unit. That's basically what I did. The sending unit was new, bought off eBay. The fuel pump bought from Advance Auto, because I'm a firm believer, if you're getting a warranty, it's best to get it from a parts store, like on a fuel pump and stuff, so you can return it if need to, and don't have to wait a week, you know, if you order it online. On the C, side note, does not come with the filter kit. The pump is just the pump. You have to buy it separate. That's like 15 bucks. Used today, and it looks like a filter needs turned around this way. Oops, we popped it off. Let's fix that. Now, I'm going to trust this sender is correct and works great. I'm going to trust that now, because I ain't checking it. We just in the truck, it does work perfect. It didn't have to be calibrated or nothing. It just worked. I'm going to drop it in the tank after we put on an O-ring, because I about forgot that. Now with my filter again. O-ring is ready. Pop a filter back on yet again. Filter's back on. I would like to spin it around just because it don't interfere with that throat any. So now let's put this down in here. Throat looks good. Everything's new. Everything should work technically. Everything's plugged in. Double. Remember, just cause it's new, don't mean it's gonna be good. I've been through that with a few troubleshooting videos where you buy new parts and you still got the same symptom you had, and the new parts is bad. But all this worked out. Check, triple check. Okay. In this thing goes. Get in, sender. Just send it. Filter needed a little help. Make sure it's still on. It is. Just like so. Now it's got a groove that sets in and faces the correct direction. It turns out us needs to go like this. Also, you need the fuel injection tank, because it's kind of got a baffle in it, so the fuel pump don't run dry on fuel when you take a curve or something like that. So what I did was I also bought a brand new 1987 fuel tank for the Scrub Body Chevy, which has the built-in fuel, you know, what is that called? The little, it catches fuel, baffle, that's what it is. and keeps your pump from running dry. That is a must-have if you plan on daily driving your truck and you don't keep it on full and you want to experience, you know, almost running out of gas. Then yes, you need to buy that. That's a must-have. You can buy just the baffle itself to go in on, and the pump sets down on it. You can buy it aftermarket, but just put a new tank on your truck. Why not? It's the fuel system. Might as well just do it all new. If you got an 87, just change the pump. For this truck. Now, on a side note, my notches did not line up, so I did have to cut one with a little cutoff wheel.
Just like
10
so.
snips would work too.
Looks pretty good. You got different positions you can lock this into. You know, we got a tab here. It might knock us off. Not 100% on that. No, it will not knock us off. So
I thought I had to cut the
put
tab.
a wing on. We got an O-wing. It's seated, you know, actually pretty good.
Fast forward some.
And this will tighten up. To actually put AM fittings on is to cut these little nipples right here.
Now, on the side note, yes, I did have a cut of tab. I see right here. That looks like I cut that. I probably skipped it. Now, what I'm saying is they make AN fittings that flat on these, but you have to shorten them down a little. So it's best just use compression AN fittings, what I used here. We just cut this smooth, and you see.
It needs cut off so you can put compression fittings onto this. Or you can put a 37-degree foil with an AN backside, and you can just screw ANs on like that, however you want to do it. Usually it's easier to put compression fittings on these. And I'm using this compression style fittings.
Whole box of parts. It's nice to have spare parts.
That's what you will want to use with this. Unless you foil the ends for AN 37-degree fittings, which you can do. No, this video isn't about that. This video is us just connecting these. Let's see. It looks like the 3/8. We got a pair of 5/16. Now, whatever you use to cut these off with, you got to be careful, because if you're using an old existing gas tank, then you might have some gas, so you don't want to use nothing that'll make sparks. You can use basically a little hacksaw. It's got a little blade. I've tried to explain a little bit better, but everybody should know what a little hacksaw is. Okay, if you ain't got one of those, you can use a tubing cutter, but bending these, you could break these. Now, if you're using a new gas...
Now, on the side note, if you want to use a tubing cutter, you can use one. Just do it before you put the sender unit down in, so you can spin it pretty good. It's going to be tight right here, but you can work around and then work back and just tighten. You know, keep working back and forward. She'll cut it, no problem.
Gas tank like I am, and a new sender, and you have no fumes whatsoever around you, you can use a grinder. Leftover.
And what I'm doing here is just deburring these edges, because I cut it with a cutoff wheel.
Down here on these.
Don't cut it if you ain't got a fresh gas, a fresh tank, because any spark can go boom. So be safe. New tank.
So my fitting will go over it, because compression fitting on.
Okay, compression.
Have you ever had them bags that you just can't open, so you just don't bother and just lift the bag? That's what I just done. Go ahead, open this up, and hopefully you can...
I'm thinking about ordering a bunch of these compression fittings, see if I can get a good deal on them in bulk, and I might stock them in my eBay store. Do you think that's a good idea?
See everything good. Oops, that blew away. It's a bit windy. Inside your fitting, you will have a little brass ball in the fitting itself. This is 5/16. It should just slide up on here. Now, if it does not go up on here, and you cut it with a grinder like I did, you have to file it some more.
So I had a file one, trust me. Okay.
What I got going on here. This as far as you can. Does not have to be the straightest.
Oh, I skipped that. We need to see that.
That's fitting. Put it in just like so. Then.
What, did you see that? Wow, God.
First.
I skipped everything. Okay, you put the little end on here first, at the bottom part that unscrews.
Then you will take your little brass fitting.
And what that does, that
compresses.
Just like
so, then you will push this all the way up against this as far as you can. Does not have to be the straightest. Just has to fit. And then you want to keep pressing down on this while you tighten this up. And eventually that's going to bring that compression fitting to where everything will start to compress. Then you will take some crescent wrenches, put you some tape.
They make special crescent wrenches for this that don't damage them. You can take some black tape, put around this and keep from messing with your paint. I'm not that particular about it. I could care less as long as it functions.
Tape on them if you don't want to damage your paint.
And don't over torque them because they will break.
You can feel tension on it as soon as you start to tighten it. About 1 full ton, once it gets snug,
It's good
whack.
enough.
It'll get pretty snug. Once it gets that snug, you can see it's solid. About 1 full ton after it's hand snug is all you need. Because you can crack the fitting and everything. And if it leaks, you can always tighten up a little bit more.
Ask me how I know about cracking the fittings. I've done it.
Well, it shouldn't leak though. It's got a compression fitting. It feels very tight. Because it should fit just perfect.
The other one does the same way.
Want to go?
I had to work with that a little bit.
Yeah, it looks pretty smooth. So, that fitting is exactly where we need it. I don't know, crescent wrenches.
Tighten that down same way we
And
did the other
snug.
one.
Both fittings is snug. This one's got
Both of them is 2 different sizes. I think a 3/8 and a quarter. Don't hold me to that. Might be 5/16. You can tell by the size of the, the feed lines. This is a feed. This is your fuel comes out and goes to your fuel regulator. That's either on your intake or you're running a Corvette filter. So that would go this is your return for the fuel and this is your vent.
a little bit of dirt in it. But it should be fine. I mean, to push so that you can check for leaks, and if they leaking, you can snug them up. You want to do that before you start the vehicle too. So let me get all my fittings together, wherever they ended up at. Now I'm gonna put some tape around these just so these don't get damaged. I can access it.
Okay, here we go.
You miss one up. I'm gonna show you the finished product.
I put that's a 90, and then we got the Teflon line right here. I used that to prime everything with it, just sample it being, it's easy to work with. It bends easy because it's basically a flexible hose. And that one went straight, I do believe.
I have primed the truck and
that's wired into the factory gauges.
Checked for leaks because you want to do that, and I did it on the ground. They give me enough line.
And the factory power wire. Wait, I didn't have one because this truck went fuel injection. I ran the power wire to a key 12 volt, didn't I? No. Power wire is fed for the fuel pump by the ECM. So it controls the ECM, which I think is a ground. I can't remember right off. It's been a long week. But yeah, the computer controls the pump, and then we got a signal and pretty much
line to if I ever drop this tank and everything, I can access it on the ground. This is your vent. It's not hooked up yet, but the feed and the return is the main thing. Got the wires lined out. The fuel pump wire on this sender was gray, and the fuel level was the purple one, and this one was ground, of course. It has the outlet on it. Also, I had to take and cut one of those nipples, one of these tabs here, whatever you want to call it. I said nipples. And instead of going in at an angle, like you seen, I had to cut that so I could get more tilt straight on, because the float was actually staying up and hitting the baffle. So that's something you want to be mindful of, is you may have to cut that tab off and position it straight where your float sets good into the baffle.
So hopefully you found this video helpful, a little bit extra information. It's not that hard to do a young fuel system. It's very simple. Like I said, buy your stock 1987 fuel tank. I paid around $110 for mine, brand new, out the door, had the built-in baffle. That chair squeaks a lot. The sending unit, I can't remember what I paid. I think it was like $87. I ordered that through eBay. No parts store could get it, and it came in good quality. I'm very pleased with it. Didn't come with a fuel pump. The fuel pump also came from the parts store. It's for a newer Chevrolet. Puts out the exact pressure you need. The truck has a built 6.0 with a Trailblazer SS intake. If you're new, check out the Scrub Out of Chevy playlist. It's up towards the top of the screen. You can see it right there while I paused it. Or LS engines and more. Tons of LS content there. And oh yeah, a bunch of Atari games on the eBay store right now. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.